Here's a question. How big is Greenland? On a standard world map, it appears nearly as large as Africa. In reality, Africa is 14 times larger. This distortion happened for a very specific reason. In 1569, a mapmaker solved a problem that was killing sailors. The solution distorted the world. It helped build empires. It reshaped global trade for 300 years, and it became the framework for how billions of people visualize the planet. By the mid-1500s, European ships were sailing farther from land than ever before. Once the coastline disappeared, survival became a math problem. Sailors could figure out how far north or south they were by measuring the sun's angle, but sailing in a straight line across a curved earth was harder. Early ocean charts showed where land was, but they couldn't show you how to get there without constantly adjusting your course, and small errors compounded over weeks. Ships routinely vanished. They simply curved off course and never returned. What sailors needed was simple: a map where a straight line meant a straight course. No math, no adjustments, just a line you could follow. In 1569, Gerardus Mercator solved it. He was a Flemish cartographer who'd spent years studying the problem. He created a map that stretched the world toward the poles. The distortion was deliberate, because on this projection, any line you drew at a constant compass direction became perfectly straight. Navigators call them rhumb lines. On Mercator's map, plotting a course was as simple as connecting two dots with a ruler. The mathematics were complex. The result was simple. For the first time, the ocean had a map that made sense. Amsterdam, 1635. A Dutch merchant ship prepares to sail for the Spice Islands. The voyage will take 9 months and cover 15,000 miles. The ship will return with nutmeg, cloves, and pepper, exotic spices worth more than gold in European markets. In the navigator's cabin, the ship's master unrolls a Mercator chart. He plots his course down the African coast, around the Cape of Good Hope, across the Indian Ocean to Java. On this chart, it's just a series of straight lines. Each segment represents a constant compass bearing. The ship vanishes over the horizon. Weeks pass, then months. The Atlantic crossing is brutal. Rounding the Cape is worse. But each time the navigator checks his position, the bearings work. 9 months after leaving Amsterdam, the ship reaches Java, right on time. By the 1640s, Dutch ships were arriving on schedule with stunning regularity. Voyages that once depended on experience and luck became systematic. Over decades, that advantage compounded. The Dutch East India Company controlled more of the global spice trade than any other European power. The Mercator projection didn't make the oceans safer. It made them predictable, and predictability became power. But precision has a price. To make compass directions work as straight lines, Mercator had to stretch the map. The farther from the equator, the more dramatic the expansion. This is why Greenland appears enormous, why Africa appears compressed. The distortion isn't political, it's geometry. For sailors plotting courses, the trade-off was obvious. For everyone else, it became invisible. By the 1700s, Mercator's projection had become the standard for ocean navigation. Then something happened. The map left the ships and entered the classrooms. It appeared in atlases, on the pages of newspapers. It became the default image of Earth, not because it was accurate, but because it was already ubiquitous. Billions of people learned geography from a navigation tool. A map designed for sailors became the shape of the world. The Mercator projection gave northern maritime powers a decisive advantage in the age of sail. For 400 years, people learned a version of the world where Europe and North America appeared central and enlarged, where Africa and South America seemed smaller. The map wasn't designed to do that, but a navigation tool from 1569 became the default image of our planet. And sometimes, the most powerful forces in history are the ones we take for granted. For more stories about the decisive moments and hidden truths that shape our world, subscribe to Inflection Points.